Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. It's the next day, day 3 of my explorations. Another day on the historic county bingo challenge. I originally meant to do Fulford in the day, but due to various sidetracks and problems with the weather, it's extended to 3 days. I'm hoping today to get finished with Fulford, which, as we've established, was in the East Riding of Yorkshire. Just a couple of things for the bingo card that I hope to see today. So I've parked in a little lay-by just the Fulford side of the A64, and I'm going to head down to the village. Also going to put my hat and my gloves on because it's bitter today. It's a bit windy. It's about 3 degrees, but it's got a wind chill of about -2. I was going to walk around Fulford at some point in the future, but it seems to make sense to do it while we're doing the bingo challenge. Yeah, I had the idea that, you know, one Sunday morning in the summer I'd come here, but my interest has been piqued with regard to a couple of things that Fulford has that will also be able to mark off the bingo card. Just need to get away from this busy main road, and I'm going to get across here. Blimey. So the first place we're looking for is a battlefield. This is Fulford Parish Council playing fields. Yeah, my layman's explanation is as follows. The Battle of Fulford was the battle before Stamford Bridge, which was the battle before the Battle of Hastings, when William the Conqueror became King of England. This was significant in that end battle. 2 Vikings, the last Viking invasion that was successful on British soil, 2 Vikings sailed up the River Ouse, tied the longboats up at Recall, which I think is just so cool. Load of Vikings just rocking up and tying the boats up at Recall. Then they attacked 2 English Earls. A lot of death and mayhem ensued, and the Vikings won, took over York, took 150 people hostage while they demanding food for their army, and there they were. So that meant Harald, as in King Harald, I think, of England, had to march his men north to the Battle of Stamford Bridge, which he then won, killed these 2 Norwegians, but then had to march back. His forces were depleted over 2 battles, and his men would have been exhausted, I imagine, marching all this way and back, and then the rest is history. There's Fulford Cemetery over there. I don't think it's an old one though, so I'm not going to go visit it. It's like the current one. So yeah, the battle was in this area. I'm hoping there might be some boards up about it. This beck on our right here, on our left I should say, is called Germany Beck, and the battle yeah, this is Germany Beck, and the battle took place around here. You see these walls from the road. I often wondered if they were flood defences. They clearly are. A lot of new houses down there, I think. A lot of new houses up here. I read somewhere that they're wanting to build 75,000 new houses in York. Look, it's freezing. And when you visit York, you get a real feel for it, because there's new housing estates cropping up all over on the outskirts. So yeah, there's vast estates like this now on every side of York. It is what it is, isn't it? But mostly getting built on farmland. And if you do want to, if you want some entertainment, find yourself an estate agent site. I was looking at Rightmove at the weekend. This video's not sponsored by Rightmove. It tells you there what the benefits of this development are. But yeah, you want to laugh, have a look at house prices in Fulford. Wow, you can see why I think they want to build 75,000 houses in York. It is such an expensive city. I think our route, as always, I did vaguely look at a map yesterday. I think our route goes up here. So without the help of a information board or some sign to say where the battlefield was, I think we're going to have to say it's somewhere around here. Germany Beck is on our in fact, we'll go this way. away from these houses. So yeah, here we are guys. This is Germany back in the September of the year 1066. Let me see what they were called. One was called Harald Hardrada. He was Harald III of Norway. So the Battle of Fulford was fought on the outskirts of the village of Fulford, just south of York in England, on the 20th of September 1066. King Harald III of Norway, also known as Harald Hardrada, claimant to the English throne, and Tostig Godwinson, his English ally, fought and defeated the Northern Earls, Edwin and Morcar. Hardrada's army consisted of allies from Orkney and a contingent with Tostig, as well as those coming from Norway. They crossed the sea in a fleet of ships and made their base east of York at Rickhall. The Vikings advanced towards York on the 20th of September. The largely inexperienced Saxon army, led by Morcar at York and Edwin at Tadcaster, moved to block the invaders. The Anglo-Saxon Chronicle says that the opposing armies met on the east bank of the River Ouse, which is where we are now, and that initially the Saxons caused heavy losses on the Viking army. Ultimately the Norse army overwhelmed the Saxon army, although the Earls themselves survived the defeat. After winning, the victorious Norwegians entered York, gathered supplies and asked for hostages. And as I said, that in turn meant that Harald, who was down in Kent, had to rally his troops and come up here. So we are on the east bank of the Ouse. The Ouse is just about a mile or so that way, and Rickhall's about 4 miles south of here, and York's about 2 or 3 miles in that direction. So yeah, if you're playing along at home, you can cross Battlefield off your list. I probably will go to Stamford Bridge battlefield when I'm there, just for completeness really. There is an actual monument there, but again there it's the site faces onto open fields, but the area behind now is all modern houses. I think we walk up to the end of the houses, turn left, and then my route's going to take me back down into Fulford, hopefully to see both the new and the old St Oswald church, and that's probably it. Be a bit of a walk back then to where my car's parked. But you'd have to imagine it's September. The world's a very different place. It's what, just over 1,000 years ago? 1,050? 1,060? Yeah, 1,060 years ago. Not really sure what to make of the Vikings, because I've read books where it says they came and they integrated and became part of the community, but then you've this crowd turning up. They were just like mercenaries, weren't they really? I think the problem here is I don't think they actually know where the battlefield is. Not exactly. Seems to follow a pattern, this. It's very much like that housing estate at Thorpe Park in Leeds, where you get a nice natural environment with fields and ponds and things, and then you build houses around it. Not that I know much about battlefields, but it does seem all right for it here, doesn't it? It's nice and flat. And Stamford Bridge is about maybe 10-12 miles in that direction, so I think it took King Harald of England about 10 days to march here, so I'm guessing the Norwegians, wonder how it worked. The Norwegians must have known they were coming, and did they just agree on a place to meet? Obviously they met away from York. I'm actually quite warm. I've got my tracksuit bottoms and over trousers on, 2 pairs of socks, my boots, went back in, put a vest on, so I've actually got 5 thin layers on the top. I've got my hat on, which is highly unusual, and I've got some gloves which aren't the best. My hands are freezing. I do need to invest in a good pair of gloves. There's a golf course at the end here, so I think when I've got to the golf course I've gone far enough. I need to turn left, skirt along this new estate, and then we pick up the old part of, well, not the really old part of Fulford, but an older part than this. I wonder how far the building will go though. I wonder if eventually they'll build on this side as well. I guess it was somewhere around here. You see the A64 over there, and I guess going in a straight line, the sort of river sort of bends round, I think. So going in a straight line, you'd probably be at Rickall in about maybe 4 miles, 5 miles, maybe a bit further. As always, guys, please join me in the conversation and leave a comment if you know more about this subject than me. If you're from Fulford and you've got any little insights, I'd love to hear them. Right, I think I'm gonna have to check the map. And again, this is Germany Beck, I'm guessing, on our left. It'd be interesting if you knew why it was called Germany Beck. That'd be good to know. There is a path here that goes up the side of the houses, but I couldn't see it, so it looks like I'm following this, if it's a path, up to the road and then back down into Fulford. And the golf course is there. So there you go then, guys. That was the the Battle of Fulford. The battlefield was out there somewhere. It's a great city, is York. I mean, the centre's that way, and it's only about 3 miles. Probably take me about an hour. No, there is no path. There you go, that's golf courses for you. Golf courses and builders, eh? Scourge of the countryside. Right. I'll see if I can find that footpath that runs along the edge of the building site then. Yeah, there's the footpath, guys. I'm just not quite sure how to get over to it. I must have missed it with waffling on. Yeah, looks like I'm gonna have to go back. Find a footbridge. Well, guys, that was a unmitigated disaster. I needed to cross to this side of the stream to show you possibly where the battlefield was. So, not a problem, but you can't get over to the other side, which is where the footpath is that goes down the back of the houses and then ultimately back into Fulford. You can't get to that without crossing over, and I don't want a chance falling in because it's too cold to have wet feet. So it means going right back to where I started. So slight change. I'm probably just going to walk along the main road to St Oswald's church, I think. So yeah, I could go back up that way and then down the back of the houses, but ultimately I want to be over there at St Oswald's church. So it's a nice clean stream though, isn't it? So as always, maybe if I did a bit more planning, I'm going to take my chances and go through here. And this is the direction I need to be going. So I'll get back to you in 10 minutes or so, see where we are. So far, so good. We're going in the right direction. We are having to make that massive detour, which is right up there. And I'm hoping we'll... Oh yeah, I can see the church. There it is. You can see it just there. I'm on one of my health kicks. It's not really a health kick. I told you months ago I was trying to walk 7,000 steps every day, and it's become very hit and miss, and it's not a very massive target. So I decided on Saturday I was going to try and do 7,000 steps every single day. It's about 2 or 3 miles, and it's surprising how I'm a bit tired today. Legs are aching a bit, but I don't think it does you that much good unless you do it every single day. So that's the plan, but I'm happy to do, you know, today on a hike maybe 10,000. I'm not wanting to do 17,000 or anything silly like that. So get me to the church, get me to the other church, and then we'll walk back along Fulford Main Street, and that'll do nicely. It is a lovely place, York. You just got to be able to afford to live here. I don't know if I said I was looking at Rightmove, and there was like a 2-bedroom terraced house the other day that I was looking at. I don't know if it had a garden. Just under 500,000. I'm guessing I can get out here. There's a playground after all. Yeah, 2-bedroom terrace house, limited parking on the street, no garden to the front. Maybe had a yard or a garden to the back, I'm not sure. But just under £500,000. That was in Fulford. So I think the church is just the other side of those houses there. We're sort of in the older part of Fulford now. I think this is where we would have walked down from the new houses. So we didn't really miss much, and we're down at the main road. Let's cross over. Fulford Gate Club. I think we're going to end up down by the river at some point, so maybe I find a bench to sit down and have my meagre provisions that I've brought with me. And I'm very warm now. And that was Heslington Lane, as we established a couple of videos back. Heslington was also a village in the East Riding. Yep, it's just what you need when you're making a video. Like an old church, an angle grinder going off. It looks as if it's open. Might ask if I can go in. This lantern was restored to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the Fulford branch of the Royal British Legion. That's handy. Community cafe, 10 till 12. Everyone welcome. $12.30. Oh, forget what they're called. Aconites, aren't they? They're usually out before the snow drops. They're beautiful, aren't they? Excuse me. I think we have War Memorial, don't we, on the thing. Oh, wow, it looks beautiful. It's a real bonus, guys. I didn't expect it to be open on the internet. It says it's closed for roof repairs. But I was just talking to a lady and she said that was ages ago. In the front, a little chapel here. This is nice, isn't it? So this was what replaced the ancient St Oswald's, which clearly, when we walk around Fulford and see the size of it now, it had become too small for the place. Look at the mosaics. They're fabulous, aren't they? And the men outside with their angle grinder. Hope no one nicks my boots. Nice pulpit. Designed by J.B. Pritchett Jr. Opened in December 1866. Gothic revival style. Now a Grade 2 listed building. Housing works of renowned stone carvers, glaziers and other highly skilled craftsmen. There was a fire in 1877. Let me read that. Which is the rose window? Oh, that one. There you go then, guys. That was a bit of a bonus. Love how those mosaics listen. Well, that's it, guys. That was a very pleasant visit. I've taken the opportunity to change my battery. List of vicars of Fulford going back to 1506. And see if my boots are still there. Yes, they are.